So it's like, cool, universe, thanks for that. Hi, I'm Kenosha, and welcome to my channel. For this video, I really just wanted to kind of just lay down the foundation of kind of what this beginning part of my channel is going to be focused on, which will be, whenever we, get pregnant with a fourth baby, then the focus of this channel will be my journey to a VBAC, which is super exciting, and I'll definitely dive more into that later. But right now I just wanted to get into the really basics of our trying to conceive journey, in the past and where it is right now. So my family as it stands today is me and my husband. I am 30 years old. My husband is newly 34. And we have 3 kids together. We have a 6-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old daughter, and a 20-month-old son. So with our first child, our oldest, who is 6, didn't have to try at all with her, with our oldest, because we had no idea she was even in the plans, and because we were not planning at all to have a kid anytime soon. So that was kind of a blessing and a curse at the time. A curse because, we were young. It was just like a shock of shock, and that was just something that we were not looking forward to at the moment. But a blessing, obviously, because that was our introduction into parenthood. We fell in love with our baby. We fell in love with each other, as new parents and as, partners in all things. And it was just like an amazing journey, and, we loved our little family. And around the 6-month mark is when I started getting that baby itch for another baby. And my husband, soon after that, I think around 6 to 8 months or whatever, he because I had thought, I would have to try really, really hard to get him on board for another baby, because he was like, I'm done. And after my birthing experience with my daughter, I was like, I would have a million babies if that's how it was. Like, my birthing experience with her was just so amazing that I was like ready to have all the babies. But my husband was on board eventually, which was awesome, because I was very nervous about that, because I could never imagine having only one child. So I breastfed my oldest for 14 months, and I did not have a period that whole time. And we were not ready so soon. I had baby fever, like I said, around 6 months, but I was more than happy to wait a longer period before actually trying to have a baby. And, and also because everything was so brand new to me, my postpartum body, I didn't have a period that whole time. So, I didn't know what the heck was going on with my body as far as that, and if I could even get pregnant. So I breastfed my oldest for 14 months, and it was the craziest thing. It was like the next day after I had my last nursing session with her, I started my period. It was the craziest thing. So I started my period, let's see, I have my notes down here. So I started my first period in February 2015. So, and we, at that time, we talked about it. I wanted to start trying for a baby, but my husband was just like, I want another baby, but I'm not there yet. So I'm like, that's fine, I'll wait. So I just tracked my cycles, February, and my cycles were all over the place. So even if we were wanting to try, I don't even know that I could have fallen pregnant, because my cycles were 60 days long for the first couple of periods. And it was the craziest thing, because I was tracking them in my app that I will mention later. And I was freaking out, because I'm like, is this normal to have 2 months go by before having another period? It was really weird. So, but eventually the gap got smaller and smaller and smaller, and it took 4 months or so before I actually started having more regular periods. And then by that time we were starting to get ready to try to conceive. So So that was pretty cool. So once my body got into a normal rhythm, you know, I already kind of had an idea of when I was ovulating and what everything was gonna look like as far as my cycles and what days and stuff to kind of be ready. So we started trying to conceive. I don't know the exact month. It was because I wanted to have a summer baby. So we started trying to conceive in like the fall of 2015. Yes, that sounds right, 2015. So the first month that we tried, September, October, November. Yeah, September, October, November were the 3 months that we tried. So September, so the 3 periods before September 2015, I had been ovulating on cycle day 17, and it was just, that was the day that I ovulated, you know. That's because I had been charting my basal body temperature, so that was the day that ovulation was confirmed. So, you know, of course, going into my first cycle, actually trying to conceive, I'm like, okay, this is it, cycle day 17. If we're gonna have sex, you know, 2 or 3 days and the day of cycle day 17, whatever. And of course, you know, my 2-week wait came and went, and then my period came, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. I mean, I know that, you know, it's totally normal for 2 completely healthy people to, you know, not get pregnant the first cycle. So I wasn't like super discouraged, but I just thought it was strange. And oh, also the most important part is that I got through that cycle and I did not ovulate on cycle day 17. I ended up ovulating on cycle day 20. So I'm like, seriously? You know, it's like you have like all this data for like the last like 3 or 4 cycles, and they were cycle day 17. So you're like, 17 is my number. And then all of a sudden now you're on cycle day 20. So it's like, cool, universe, thanks for that. You know, so October we tried again. That was our second cycle trying. And like the same kind of thing happened. So our timing was just really bad that month. Like I was still kind of expecting cycle day 17, I guess. And, you know, and it's just like, we were just off like in the timing. So we did not conceive that cycle. So November was our 3rd month trying, our 3rd cycle trying. And we did conceive because my husband and I were like, okay, because I told my husband, I'm like, we are not going to miss this cycle because this is our last month that we can conceive to have an official like summer baby, to have an August baby, you know? So I'm like, we're not going to miss a cycle. Like I want a summer baby. So we had sex from the day my period ended for like 2 weeks straight. So out of 14 days, we had sex 13 of those days. And lo and behold, like 2 weeks later, I tested positive and our baby number 2 was on the way for August 2016. So that was really cool. Yeah, so she was born, beautiful little baby girl, and I breastfed her for like 15-ish months. And by the time she was, I don't know, it was after she had turned 1, my husband and I were like, okay, we can like not try for baby number 3. And I knew that since I hadn't started my period, like it wouldn't be that common, you know, for us, or, you know, we didn't have a lot of chance to actually conceive a baby without me having had a full cycle yet. So we were just, you know, kind of having fun, doing whatever. And I would take pregnancy tests like every couple of weeks or whatever, just to kind of like be sure that there was no baby on the way. But yeah, so we never conceived. And then eventually I did start my period when she was like 14-ish months, I said. And that first cycle, so we did the same thing that we did when we were trying to conceive our second baby. I was like, this is what I want. I want a spring baby, so let's do our thing. So same thing happened. Like we had sex like every single day. Actually, we didn't. we had, like, it was from the time my period ended until like ovulation was confirmed. So like for a 2-week period, we had sex like probably like 12 or something days out of 14. So we had really, really good timing. And in my fertility app, we had sex like every other day in my fertile window. So that was good enough timing for us to conceive baby number 3. And he was a spring baby. He was born in May 2018. And here we are today, thinking about adding number 4 to our family, which is so crazy to think about, but really exciting. So my son right now is 20 months old. I'm still breastfeeding him right now. So that was something that I was kind of wondering about, if that's kind of like making it a little more difficult for me to actually become pregnant, because we haven't officially been trying, but we also have not been preventing. But we've kind of like, yeah, been in that same kind of phase where it's like, we kind of like, we've talked about, you know, having another baby, a final baby to add to our family. And, you know, so we've kind of been on the fence about that. And the last couple of months, I've been like completely convinced and completely like within my heart knowing that I want another baby. And my husband has been waffling still, but he's really, really, really leaning towards, yeah, we're gonna have another baby, but it's just like a matter of when. So we've been kind of playing with fire, I guess you can say, as in not trying, not preventing. And yeah, so I've been charting my cycles. I've had 3 cycles. They started October 31st, 2019 was the first day of my very first postpartum period. And then I had another period in December 2019, and then now we're in this cycle where this period started January 2020. So I'm actually in my 2-week wait right now. I am 6 days post-ovulation. So seriously, like by the end of this week, I could know if I'm pregnant or not, because we had really good timing. Like we had very similar timing to when we finally conceived our 3rd baby. So, you know, you never really know. So that kind of takes us to where we are right now as far as what our plans are for baby number 4, and yeah, what we're gonna do about it. And we don't really have any plans because, like I said, my husband is still waffling. He did say to me like last week that he's like, I know that I've said a lot of things and I've been joking around a lot, but we are gonna have a 4th baby, you know. And it's just, you know, we've had a lot of heart-to-hearts, and I totally get where he's coming from, because, you know, deciding to add another baby to your family is not something to take lightly. So I really appreciate that he takes a lot of time to think about these things. So those are just some things that we've been thinking about and talking about, and that's kind of like our not planned plans that we have right now, because they're nothing, like we have nothing really like that we want to do, but you know, there are some things that I've thought about on my own, you know, that are kind of important to me, or just kind of things that I've thought about that would be nice to have. But that's just a little bit about me and my family. And I do have a part 2 of this video that will be coming up next, but it'll be the 5 things that I'm doing right now to prepare for pregnancy. So come back, watch that one. And if you like me and my channel, then definitely like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.